Hey church, happy 2018. I'm so glad and excited that you are part of a life group. Life groups is a great place where you can connect, you can grow, and you can love. It's a great place for building relationships with one another and growing in your relationship with God. The word that God has given Forward City Church for 2018 is the word soar. And this word comes from the Bible verse Isaiah chapter 40 verse 31, which says, "But to those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength, and they shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and shall not faint." The two key words in this verse are that we will mount up or soar with wings like eagles. And I believe God is trying to tell us something when He compares each and every one of us to the eagle in this particular verse. Aren't you glad that God did not compare you and me to a chicken, to a turkey, to a peacock, to a crow, or to whatever bird, but He has actually compared you and me to the majestic eagle. And in the next few sessions of our life groups, we're going to look at 7 principles of an eagle. How you and I can take principles from the Bible that pertains to the eagle and help us to soar in our life. And today we're going to look at principle number 1, which is eagles fly alone at high altitude and not with sparrows or mixed with any other smaller birds. There's a saying that goes that birds of a feather flock together. No other bird flies as high as the eagle, soars as high as the eagle. They go at high altitudes, and eagles will only fly with eagles. And there's a part even in the Old Testament about Moses. There was a time where he just had to come out of the crowd and to commune with God on the mountain. He left the crowd at the foothills just to get communication with God. So there are times in our lives we have to be like the eagle. We have to come away, pull away from the crowd, pull away from the noise, and spend time with God. Spend time in prayer, spend time in worship, spend time in His presence. And another thing about eagles is they don't spend time with chickens, with turkeys, with ravens, or even with sparrows. Eagles need to fly with eagles. So what I'm trying to say is you and I, we need to be around good company. Be willing to leave the crowd. Be willing to spend time with God, because that's where your strength will be renewed. And right now we're going to look at 4 types of people that you and I, we need in our lives. There's a verse in the Bible in Proverbs 13 verse 20. It says, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm." You and I, we can never become the kind of people that God desires us to come on our own self. God has put people in our lives so that we can grow, we can flourish, and we can experience new things to move ahead in life. And the Bible tells us that walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fool suffers harm. So we all need people who are teaching us, people who are sharing their lives with us, people who are investing in us and also encouraging us to grow. In fact, to be all that God has called you and me to be, we need to learn from at least 4 different kinds of people. Number 1 are mentors. Mentors, what are mentors? These are your coaches. I've got different types, various kinds of mentors in my life, because no one person can teach you everything you need to know in life. One person will teach you in one area, the other person will teach you something else, because everyone has got different gifts and different experiences. So you and I, we need to surround ourselves with mentors, people who are willing to coach us, to show us the way, to guide us, and to help us to become the person that God intends us to be. And God will bring those people into your lives. And when those people come into their lives, recognize them and thank God for them, and allow God to work in your life through them. Number 2, the second type of people that you and I need in our lives are called role models. Role models, these are the people who are already doing or have already done what you want to do in life. And many of the skills that you and I have learned in our life, we've learned it from watching others. So you and I, we need to pray and ask God to bring in role models that are healthy, that help us to build our spiritual lives and become all that God has called us to be. And the third kind of people that you and I need are called partners. You need co-workers or colleagues or ministry mates who are in your profession or even your ministry that you're doing. People to support and challenge you on what God wants to do in you and through your life. So the third kind of people we need are partners that will help us, propel us and even challenge us to become all that God has called us to be. And the fourth type of people that we need in our life are called friends. Friends don't necessarily help you with your goals. They are just friends. They love you no matter what you do. They love you when you are messed up. They will still love you. They love you and they celebrate you when you are successful. A friend walks into your life when everyone else walks out. Those are the people that we need in our journey, in our growth. And that's where you know who your friends really are. So that's what we have today for principle number 1, which is eagles fly alone and fly at high altitudes. Keep good company. Be willing to pull away from the crowd. Spend time with God. And before we end, we just want to give you 3 questions that you can discuss, that you can talk about and share so that you can apply it and see some results in your life. God bless you. Have a great week ahead.